Hey Eagles fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into the Eagles Report, and today, let's put a grade on all the major free agency and trade news that Philadelphia has done over the past couple of weeks. How well did our Eagles do? We're going to go ahead and grade that for you here. Give it a thumbs up if you like any of the moves that the Eagles have done so far. I like a couple of them. We're going to go ahead and break all that down. Without further ado, you know what to do. Let's go ahead and jump right in. All right, so the Eagles free agency period to me was exciting for some parts of it. The Darius Slay trade was very, very fun. I like Javon Hargrave. We're going to break all that down. But overall, it was a little bit underwhelming. So we'll talk about my overall grade here towards the end of the video. But let's go ahead and start with the first big move that they made, and that was Javon Hargrave. The grade for me on this one is a B+. It's a B+ because I love it, but it's a B+ because it's not necessarily a major need for Philadelphia. Everyone seems to forget that Malik Jackson, who was signed in free agency last year for a massive deal out of Jacksonville, was injured and is going to come back 100% healthy, and that's supposed to be his starting defensive tackle slot. So I was fine with the D-line as it was, but then you bring in Javon Hargrave, and I think that it makes it all the more better. So I like it. It just wasn't that big of a need, but everyone else is saying in terms of nationally it was an underrated move, getting him for, $39 million, a very cheap deal overall for Philadelphia. This does, though, because the Eagle D-line was going to be okay and pretty good as it was with Malik Jackson coming back. This makes the Eagles D-line one of the best interior defensive lines in the National Football League. You have Fletcher, you have obviously Malik Jackson, and you have Javon Hargrave. That is a 1-2-3 punch. You can rotate guys in there and absolutely dominate. Think back to 2 years ago. We were playing the New Orleans Saints in the Superdome. I was watching the game on the couch with my buddy or my roommate Will, and we're both watching how Fletcher Cox was playing so much he got winded, and as soon as they had to bring him out of the game, that's when the New Orleans Saints, the pass rush started to die, and the Drew Brees started to march down the field. I'm screaming at my roommate Will. I'm saying, Will, we have got to be able to keep Fletcher Cox in there, but Will kept telling me he's burned out. He's not going to be able to keep playing. We've got to give him rest. And so it was this back and forth, okay, give Cox some rest, but then also get him in there. That way he can play. Now, you have Javon Hargrave, you have Malik Jackson. Hopefully, it reduces the amount of necessary snaps that Fletcher Cox needs to play, because both those guys are going to be in there, and Philadelphia's defensive line will be healthier in terms of the 4 quarters of a game and less winded than they have been in some of these later game situations as well. I like Javon Hargrave. I will give it a B+. I think it's underrated. It's a good team-friendly deal. It just was not an A+ move because it wasn't necessarily a need for the Philadelphia Eagles on their defensive line. Moving on, Darius Slay, not necessarily a free agent signing, but a trade nonetheless. This one an A-. I love this deal overall. I love the fact they did not have to give up a first or a second round draft pick. A third and a fifth for Darius Slay is a steal. He was the best cornerback we could have gotten. He's better than a Byron Jones, has more interceptions than Byron Jones, like triple the amount of interceptions that Byron Jones has, and is way younger than Chris Harris Jr. So overall, this was an excellent move. It's an A- though, because I'm a little hesitant about him being a shutdown cornerback, just because Philadelphia, we all talked about it, has had bad luck in the past with Nnamdi Asomugha, and has had bad luck in the past, of course, with blanking on his name right now. Byron Maxwell in the past. We've given them money, and they have not turned out to be very good players. So I'm hopeful. Fingers crossed. I think he's better. I think he's different. He's going to be okay. We've talked about this in the past, but it is an A- just because, you never know. You're not going to guaranteed in terms of him being a shutdown corner, and there aren't a lot of true shutdown corners in the National Football League. I think he is going to be okay, but I'm curious what you guys think. Which signing is better, Darius Slay or Javon Hargrave? Type J down below for Javon Hargrave. Type D down below for Darius Slay. I want to see what you guys think was the better signing overall. I think Darius Slay, but don't count out Javon Hargrave as well. Okay, a couple of other signings here, and again, we're going to break these down kind of not necessarily one by one, but I want to package the ROBEY-COLEMAN, the Will Parks, and the linebacker Brown in as well for a full 3-person grade on all 3 of them. It's a C+. These, to me, the ROBEY-COLEMAN, the Will Parks, got a lot of hype. People are like, oh my gosh, Will Parks, grew up loving Philadelphia and was a big Brian Dawkins fan. He's not going to be Brian Dawkins. And ROBEY-COLEMAN was a good slot cornerback, a good nickel cornerback for the New Orleans Saints, was famously in the no-call pass interference game in the NFC title game just a couple of years ago in the Superdome, but he's not going to be a shutdown nickel cornerback. Now, he might start. They both might be very good, and the great part about them is they can play multiple roles, as Parks can play safety and also play nickel corner, but I don't think either of them are going to start in the Eagles secondary week 1. They might be able to get their way and work their way to that point, but I think a lot of people were overblown in terms of, oh my goodness, right? We got ourselves a slot cornerback, and oh, a safety, Will Parks, oh my gosh, Brian Dawkins, oh, Jatavius Brown's a linebacker, he's he's going to be great. Brown might start out of need from a lot of linebackers overall, but these moves, I think, are a little more depth moves in terms of actual impact player moves. I'm hoped I'm proved wrong, but my film research and my research overall kind of shows me that, hey, I don't think these guys are going to be that big of an impact. I mean, Mills is going to start. McLeod's going to start. Obviously, you have Darius Slay is going to start. I think Sidney Jones becomes your nickel cornerback. I think Devontae Maddox becomes your outside cornerback. We talked about that yesterday. So I like the moves, but a C+ overall from those ones, not as exciting as some other moves could have been that they were unable to do in the end. Now, I want to put a kind of a grading, and again, I don't want to go, to player by player by player. I want to talk about the Birds that we went ahead and lost and the Eagles that we went ahead and re-signed. Overall, a B+ by the Eagles in terms of letting a lot of guys go. I liked letting Jordan Howard go because, again, you want to get a little younger at running back. He was a good player last year, but obviously Miles Sanders, this is his team. He's going to be the running back of the future. I liked Ronald Darby being let go. I think that's a great move. Agholor gone, that's fine. Vaitai gone, that's all good to go. Those moves were all great. I almost give those like an A+, but you have to then give the team a B+ for letting go of Malcolm Jenkins. So the Jenkins one is like a D-. The other ones are an A+. You combine that grade, becomes a B- overall. I hate losing Malcolm Jenkins. I get that he wanted a lot of money. I get that he's going to be very, very expensive, but I think with the free agent cap space we still have, we have like $30 million left in free agent cap space. Why did you not go ahead, give him the money, make him happy, and keep him for the next couple of years? Now, I get the alternative, and that's Jalen Mills starting, but we don't know if Jalen Mills is even going to become as good as Malcolm Jenkins. Again, I hope I'm wrong, but there is no guarantee that that is going to happen, so we'll have to wait and see. So the re-signed Birds, I like the moves that they let a lot of guys go. I like the moves that they re-signed a couple of guys in terms of the interior defensive line, made the trades. We all know what they did. B- overall for who they went ahead and let go and who they re-signed for the Philadelphia Eagles as well. Final one here is going to be the overall grade from the Philadelphia Eagles free agency / Darius Slay trade. To me, it's a B-. It's good, but it's not great. There were a lot of players I think Philadelphia should have made a run at and should have made a move for to go ahead and bolster not only the defense, but the offense. Now, they made great moves. We talked about them. Javon Hargrave, Darius Slay. All their additions, the ROBEY-COLEMAN and the Will Parks are fine. They're not that great, and I love letting go of Darby and Agholor. They did a lot of things right, but they also did not go get a wide receiver. Brashad Perryman was like $7 million. I mean, what was it? Robbie Anderson was $12 million. There were wide receivers to be had that could have bolstered your outside offense and made the Eagles a lot more deadly on offense overall, and they didn't do it. There were linebackers I think the Eagles could have went ahead and signed, and they were unable to go ahead and make any of those moves as well. I like what they have done up to this point. It's a fine offseason. We got better this offseason. The 2020 Eagles will be better than the 2019 Eagles, but I think missing out on a wide receiver is a huge problem for Philadelphia, despite the fact we're still going to go ahead and get a wide receiver in the 2020 NFL Draft at number 21 overall. I would have liked to see Perryman, maybe Emmanuel Sanders, even though he's a little bit older, definitely Robbie Anderson. We had the money to do it. Why did we not go ahead and do it? I don't know if there's an answer to that, and hopefully they're able to go ahead and solve that in the NFL Draft, and we draft guys who are going to be very, very good going forward. What's your overall grade for the Eagles? Do you like any of the moves? If you like any of the moves the Eagles did, give this video a thumbs up. I want to kind of gauge how you guys are feeling, and also give me a grade down below. Grade the Eagles offseason. Is it a B? Am I wrong? Is it an A? I want to hear from you guys in terms of what Philadelphia was able to do. Again, I think it's fine. Hargrave, Slay, great pickups overall. Excuse me, I don't know what's going on today. But I do think that a lot of these other moves were a little bit overblown in terms of Will Parks and ROBEY-COLEMAN and Brown. I think it's like, and then I would have liked to have signed Malcolm Jenkins as well. But again, beggars can't be choosers. We trust Howie Roseman. I trust Howie. I think they're going to still have a good offseason, a good NFL draft. I just want to make sure we do not miss out in terms of Carson Wentz's prime without a wide receiver. There you go. All time we have for today for the Eagles Report. Be sure to subscribe down below as we're growing at a crazy rate right now. You're stuck at home, so give me some appreciation. Show me some love by subscribing to the Eagles Report as we're growing to 7,000 subs strong. Hopefully by the end of the week, we're doing that all with your guys' help. Coming up later this week, probably tomorrow, we're going to do a mock draft. So I'm going to mock draft, the 21st overall pick, the 53rd overall pick. We'll probably do a 4 or 5 round mock draft, trying to see what the Eagles can do via the Draft Network. Maybe you'll do that live. You guys do a live mock draft, let me know in the comments section down below. All time we have for today. For the Eagles Report, I am Thomas Mott, signing off. Stay safe, wash your hands, enjoy the rest of your day. Did you like that video? Thanks for watching, but why don't you click this video right here, because we did it just a couple of days ago, and guess what? it's about the Eagles too. Like that video? Why don't you subscribe right down here? That way you're notified whenever we release more videos here on the Eagles Report. It's the fastest growing Eagles channel here on YouTube. Video, subscribe, click them right now. Go ahead, click them.